12 Strong is a war film, and a modern war film that feels very much like a Western. And this isn't simply because the soldiers and the main characters ride around on horses. There's something about the film, kind of in terms of its pacing, its general feel, kind of the relatively simplistic nature of the plot, the scenery, like it all kind of feels very much like a Western. And that's kind of an element of the film that I think it has going for it, is it's, in some ways it's quite different to your usual kind of film where the Americans turn up and try and splat the terrorists, and I quite like that about it. It's also got a really good cast, like Chris Hemsworth is a bit of a standout, but you'd also say just the general supporting cast like Michael Shannon and Michael Pena do a good job. There's a lot of guys who I didn't know who they were who also did a good job, particularly kind of the main Arab leader who kind of supports the Americans is also very good. The violence and the action is all very intense, like well done, kind of you feel like you know what's going on, but it's still very intense and kind of quite engrossing. So there's a lot of good things about the film. I think my one gripe with it would probably be that I didn't feel massively emotionally invested most of the way through the film. Like, I kind of wasn't sure I cared enough about whether the characters lived or died, or what kind of happened by the end. So it feels like maybe in terms of the writing that it could have had a bit more nuance and potentially could have had like just a little bit more to it. But as a general kind of war Western action film, it was pretty good. And if the most you'd pay for a cinema ticket was £10, I'd have probably gone quite happily for £7. So yeah.